Welcome back into the Express, and there you have it, the new single from Whitesnake, Lie Down, I Think I Love You, a subtle modern love song. 8.5 minutes past 8 at the time. My guests have arrived. They're now in the building, having beaten their way through one or two admiring people outside the door. They're now having a quick perusal around various parts of the Radio City building. They shall be with us shortly. In the meantime, we'll take a break and then back after that. That's one that always goes down well. From the North Winds album, Keep On Giving Me Love. And gentlemen, welcome to the programme. Always a great pleasure to see you in the studio, but I must admit I didn't think that I would ever see you sitting in the studio together at the same time in the same place. David Coverdale and John Lord, that is, in case you've just joined us. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I paid the money that I owed him.
How did it come about then, this joining of the two of you, or the rejoining of the two of you?
Just mutual respect, really.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I needed a gig. No, I was just, I was looking for something to do. I really wanted to work again, and David had the right band for me to join. It's very simple. Sounds too easy, but that's really what it was.
Because I think it's the sort of thing that certainly any Purple fan would think is probably the best thing that could possibly happen, and only be waiting for any other former members to get in on the act as well now. But it's always not always possible for the right time, people to be around at the right time.
It's funny actually, because when John and I did an interview the other day with a Japanese magazine, and apparently the rumour in Japan is that Blackmore wants to join Whitesnake.
And then Ian and Lasky can join, and then
and all that, And then I'll be out on my ass when Ian Gillan comes in.
The other three members, four rather, members that we have at the moment from Whitesnake are perfect anyway. So it's no question of a surreptitious Purple reunion. It's just basically it was the right gig for me, and he needed a keyboard player.
Yeah, desperately.
So here I am.
Well, I remember actually we were talking about that last time you were here, David. I've been practicing chopsticks ever since, but
right. Yeah. Actually, the kind of tunes we got on the new album, that would have suited perfectly.
Well, we've got.
We brought the exclusive, by the way.
We've got the new album. Actually, it's a great problem because we've got it on this tape machine. It's about 500 yards away from my arm. So if I keep disappearing off the microphone, that's why I turn round to press the appropriate button. Well, let's get straight into the new album because we want to try and get through all of it before we finish tonight. The new album is called
Trouble. Can we dedicate the first track to Laura?
Yes, you certainly can. There seems to be a certain amount of arm waving going on in various parts of the building. Obviously, people remember her from some previous occasion. Yes, okay.
I don't remember Laura.
Laura, tell Laura.
It's not that Laura, is it?
No.
Anyway, this is called what?
Take Me With You.
Oh, it's MOR album then, is it? That sounds like a fairly good way to open up a brand new album. Well, good job I've got these carefully ear-padded earphones on. That's rather good. Actually, I must point out to listeners, I'm actually listening to this for the first time as well. So we are hearing it together for the first time. Quite a lot of mail has come in since people found out that the two of you were coming to the studio tonight. And so in order to get through the album and the letters, I suppose I better dive into those straight away. It actually saves me a lot of questions tonight because a lot of questions have been sent in. A guy called Nick White writes from 35 Smithy Brow Croft in Warrington, Cheshire, and says, this one to John really, whatever happened to Bandit, who played support on the Pate Ashton Lord tour?
Good question. I'd like to know too, because they're a very, very good band indeed. The last I remember of them is them giving me a badge which said Bandit on tour.
I tried to, actually, to interject here, I tried to get the drummer from Bandit for the original Whitesnake band. And he was going to do it, but then suddenly Bandit got a new record contract. So I'm sure they're recording it.
The last we hear is that they have a new record contract.
And, well, either of you can answer this one. I think we know the answer to this one already, but Nick may not. When and where will we see Whitesnake in the Northwest on the next tour?
Liverpool Empire, the 20th of November.
Which makes me very pleased. I'm glad that we actually managed to get a Liverpool date.
We're very pleased.
It makes me incredibly knocked out. I can't believe it. I love the Empire.
Yeah.
I love Liverpool, but I love the Empire.
And Liverpool seems to be quite fond of you as well, judging by the one or two people that were outside the door tonight.
Oh, God bless them.
Say hello to them, because I
Love
know they'll know they'll still
Hello,
be there.
people outside the door.
Love them.
You listen very, very, very closely, you probably hear them shouting back.
Mhm.
And a guy called Mark Baker writes from 44 Square Lane, Burscough, Lancashire, says, Dear Phil, the last time David Coverdale was on the programme, I seem to remember that there was much laughter and drinking of lemonade and German water. I also remember that during the whole time, very few questions emerged from you. So here's a few you might care to throw at the lads when they come in on Thursday. Question one. Well, we won't actually take them all at the same time. We'll pick up a couple from Mark's questions. Do either of you keep in contact with the other former Purple members?
Yes?
Yeah, well, John is very close with Ian Pace, and I see Ian quite regularly. In fact, we speak very regularly on the phone. Roger Glover, who's just gone to America, he's working with Blackmore now for the new Rainbow album. See him a lot. And over to you, John.
Well, I never see Rod Evans or Nicky Simpler, but who remembers them anyway?
Whatever happened to them?
Well, Rod is now what they call a paramedic in Los Angeles, believe it or not. That's an equivalent to like a roving ambulance man who sort of does on-the-spot operations on the street. He's
a strange profession.
Yeah, he saw the light. He was with Captain Beyond, as you maybe remember, which was not a bad band. Then he after that he left the music business and started breeding Alsatians for police dogs. And then he became a paramedic, and that's the last I heard of him. Nicky Simper has a grocery shop, and I never talked to him. I don't like his groceries. He also sued us for wrongful dismissal many years ago. But that's beside the point. Gil and I see occasionally, talk to occasionally. He seems to be in a bit of limbo at the moment, and he's sort of fired his band, which I thought was not a bad band.
They have its second track from side one of the new Whitesnake album. That's Love to Keep You Warm. I'm enjoying this. I hope everybody else is. But then I'm very self-indulgent in this area of music, isn't it? So my regular listeners will know. David, what did you feel about playing on Revolver, says Mark Baker, another of his list of 101 questions.
Anything apart from the concert stage, I hate. Well, concert stage in the studio. Studio coming a very late second. Actually, it's funny because there was a beautiful little girl mentioned to me when I came in here. She said, David, were you drunk when you did in concert? I said, yeah. She said, you won't be drunk when you do Liverpool. I said, no, don't worry. I just hate doing those things when it's out of your control. You know, you stand there and the audience haven't got a clue who is there. And my ball went. I couldn't believe it. You know, it's like there was an audience there of like mothers and fathers and uncles and aunties. And I was going, no, none of this. So I got the vodka out. You know. And unfortunately, it was broadcast. I didn't even listen to it. You know. In fact, I think I was in Sheffield, and a few people came over from Liverpool to say hello. And they said, oh, you're on in concert this week. And I said, don't even bother listening to it. I never even heard it myself, but I heard it was really donkey. Revolver, from what I gather, we did very well, but I haven't seen it again. But apparently the director of Revolver started to do all these like ABBA kind of flashing television lights and stuff, and yeah, you know, come and see us in Liverpool. It's a different bag of apples altogether.
It certainly will. Actually, some of Mark's questions are all fairly pertinent to the sort of thing I was going to ask you anyway, so we can continue to work down his list.
Okay, Mark.
Saves my brain an awful lot of problems, which is quite useful tonight to state it in. This one's to John, actually. Why did Pace Ashton Lord fold up, and had they recorded any material for forthcoming albums?
And for the second one first, yes, we had. We recorded a whole album as a follow-up to Malice in Wonderland, which is incomplete, but Ian and I hope to complete it at some time during the next few years. The incompleteness is the vocals. I mean, a lot of the vocals are missing, which brings me to the answer to the first point. Dear old Tony has just suddenly decided he didn't want to be a singer anymore, and enjoy that.
Because he was trying so hard to make it not sound like he was opening a tin of water.
You were opening a tin of water down there.
Indian tonic
No,
water.
Tony really says he's had enough of the road, enough singing. His confidence went, and so on. And although we had a damn good band, I mean, Powell was an 11-piece band. We had some fine musicians. In fact, we discovered Bernie Marsden for a start. Dig, who was
A local lad.
poached by Whitesnake. But basically, the whole idea of the band was that Tony should be the singer. That was it, whether it was a good band or not. And when Tony said he didn't want to do it anymore, so we stopped the band. But there is another album in the pipeline. I don't know if it'll ever get released. It will probably be the most expensive home album I've ever, private music played home. But if we ever felt that we could release it genuinely, that it was worth releasing, interesting, then we might do it. But basically it was Tony. Decided not to do it.
What is he doing now? Is he
Producing.
Yeah.
He's doing really well.
Doing well. He's making
All the jingles you hear on the telly about Levi's and Pepsi Cola and all that, Tony's done it. He's resurrecting Route 66, get your jeans on Route 60 Stitch or whatever.
Yeah, he produced that commercial, the
Clover.
Levi one.
Yeah.
And
And the Pepsi one, the cool geezer, the Fonz character.
Right. Yeah.
Who's I'm cool with my little fridge and all this number. He's doing all that. He's doing great. Summertime, cue for the summertime blues and stuff. He's doing all that. He's doing really very well. And he's done a great album with the Kaz and Dave. I don't know whether you've got it up here, but
it's called Rock Me.
That's right. Recorded on Lightning Records.
Yeah. I don't think the album is going to be like enormous or whatever. I'll take over Stockport, but it's a good album. It's fun.
That's the answer to that one.
That's the answer to that one. Yeah. What about the Maggie Bell thing that was going for a while? Did anything ever come of that?
Yeah. Well, see, I just wanted to work. I mean, I'm a performing musician. That's my business, and I wanted to work. And I got the offer from Maggie to put a band together with her. So Ian and I, Stacey and I, got the offer. And she's a lovely singer. In fact, she's great. But she really is a frontline singer who needs a backing band, and I'm not a very good backing musician. It's not the way I work. I prefer to be part of the band, and I began to feel as we went through the Maggie Bell thing that I would end up as a backing musician. Now, okay, you can call it ego. It's all right. I don't mind.
I call it ego.
Well, you call it ego, and it's absolutely right. I couldn't take it being just okay, right. John, you'll play this chord here, and
quite right.
And we did the one concert with her, Pacey and me. We did the concert at the festival a few weeks ago, July, I think. And it was fine. It was marvellous, excellent, and she was great. But I was just a backing organist, just a keyboard player who sits in the background and. Pardon? Oh, sorry, I just lit a cigarette for him. He said, "Watch me here." He goes, "Visual radio for you."
I watched me that tonight.
That's the answer to that one.
Yeah.
I couldn't sustain a great deal of interest just being considered as a backing keyboard player.
I must admit to a certain amount of surprise when I first heard about arrangements. The final sort of
it's funny,
career point of John Lord.
Yeah, well, I thought it would work, you see. I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it would work. I wouldn't have gone into the whole situation. And Peter Grant, a very successful manager, and he's obviously madly fond of Maggie Bell. But it just didn't click. It didn't work. And I decided to say no. And then almost immediately, this thing with David came up. We met and we sort of looked each other in the eyes and said, "You know who your keyboard player should be?" And he said, "Right," and it all worked out.
Beautifully, great stuff. Well, we're well pleased up in this part of the world anyway. We shall have more from the new album at the other side of the break.